This is a beautiful medal that you can wear everywhere you want to go. That's a direct quote. You know who said it? FIFA President Gianni Infantino. Who did he say it to? To the President of the United States, as he handed him this made-up FIFA Peace Prize award. It sounds like a parent talking to a toddler. Here, take it. You can take it everywhere you want. It's yours. Yeah, because the toddler just finished to color a book, to, I don't know, go to the potty for the first time. Yeah. So this past week, FIFA invented the FIFA Peace Prize, very prestigious, first time ever. There's no history, there's no jury, there's no criteria, there's no committee, there's nothing. Why did they invent it? Just so that you can give it to Donald Trump. Because, well, he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, so he needs a different prize to stroke his ego. Of course, it's the ultimate participation trophy for the most powerful man on earth. Like, so today we're gonna jump into analyzing the diplomacy of cringe, if you will. Why Gianni Infantino is the ultimate, and I cannot emphasize this enough, sideshow fan, because what just transpired is just ridiculous. I mean, they were chanting USA, USA. And we also look into like why this medal and this award, because it's an award, right? Like a cup and a medal. And so we also look into like why this is the perfect symbol for 2025 to go out on an event, on a display like this. Yeah, shiny gold and completely meaningless. Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod, mindful media and communication. And as always, here, while even my mic is giving up already, as always, I'm trying to break down which theories, which media and communication theories apply here. And as always, I bring you 3 theories, and after those theories, I'll add a few of my thoughts to it as well. Okay. So the first theory I'm bringing you is actually a very famous theory when it comes to media studies. We talked about this a few times here too, and it fits like a glove to what just happened. Because the first theory we discussed today is Sean Baudrillard's simulacra. Okay, the simulacra and the simulation. That's what he talked about. We talked about this before in the podcast. It's basically that the simulation means, let's say you live in a world and you see things around you, like on TV, the media, social media, and so on, and you're not sure if it's real or not. So you're quite sure it's not real because everyone's faking stuff, everyone's trying to be extra cute on social media, but your reference point is still what you see. So your actions are then based on what you see online, even though it's not real. So that the simulation basically becomes real to you. And the simulacra is just the process of that whole thing. So the simulacrum, so the simulation that we're talking about is basically a copy of what you think would be real, but there is no original, because what you see isn't real. But there is no actual original reality because what we see is fake. Okay, let me explain. The Peace Prize from FIFA is not a peace prize. It's a simulation of a peace prize, because there is nothing to it. There's no history to it. There's no comedy. Sure, what is it in the intro, right? There's nothing to it. So how can you have a peace prize and give it to someone who worked for peace, Venezuela, and not have any criteria to it, right? So it's not a real, honest peace prize. It's a simulation of a peace prize. It's a fake peace prize. But of course, Trump and others will now try to add value to it. Okay? Okay. So that's basically what's happening right now. So yeah, a real peace prize like the Nobel, and think about the Nobel committee, what you want. Um, there's a process, there's a committee. The FIFA prize, as I said, has nothing, right? It has the aesthetics of an award. Hey, it's golden. Ooh, look at the medal. Ceremony and speeches. Did you see the speech, by the way? Oh my God. But it lacks everything else. Reality, meaning, merit, all those things. That's why I say it's a fake peace prize. So it only exists so it looks nice on TV, on social media, and so on. So speaking in Sean Baudrillard terms, this makes it hyper real. Okay, so he talked about hyper reality, a reality where we don't know what is fake, what is real. So if you take fake things that don't have meaning and take it into our reality and then give it meaning, try to give it meaning, that makes it hyper real. Okay, so this is a hyper real spectacle, if you will. And the event, right, receiving that award might be more important than the actual peace treaties, which that the US might have, might not have. Venezuela. Right? So this whole spectacle becomes what it's all about. This cool photo ops with a fake peace prize, so to speak. The second theory I brought to you is the one we talked about on the last episode as well. So just to make sure we all get it, and it fits again very well to everything Trump, to be honest, and everything FIFA, because it's hard to point out who's the bigger. So Pierre Bourdieu, right? We talked about him before. Capital, if you remember that, right? So he talks about the forms of capital, and Bourdieu talks about how we convert capital, the conversion of capital, right? What makes it so valuable to us, and this applies to this situation basically when we think about why did why did Gianni Infantino, and who would have thought that we would miss Sepp Blatter at one point, right? Insane. So why did Infantino do this, right? Well, why did he swap this shiny medal? Why did he give this shiny medal to Trump and I just took it away? He's swapping it. He's swapping that shiny medal for political favors. That's exactly why he's doing it, right? So that's the conversion of capital. You have something, I convert it into something that I want from you. So he's trading what we would call now symbolic capital, like prestigious awards that doesn't exist, for social or economic capital, right? Like visas for the World Cup, for example, tax breaks for anything FIFA, access to power. That's what he's trading it in for. So, and he and everybody else in the world realized that Trump values things such as flattery more than actual policy talks. So just flatter him and you get what you want. So he minted a currency, right? The medal or the prize, the award, specifically to buy influence with Trump. It's, if you think about it, it's the most, I want to say cynical transaction in sports history, probably. I can't think of any other more cynical actually, because I mean, just look at it. Last theory before I go into then my ranting mode. No, I try not to rant too much today. I'm promising. I promise. Urban Goffman. Remember we talked about Urban Goffman on the podcast a few times too. Goffman talks about interaction rituals, like how to keep your face, save your face, why we do things in order to perform in front of others, and so on. And this case right now is just basically, it's very straightforward, right? It's the massaging the ego, if you will, right? That's basically the interaction that we have here, the interaction ritual. So the whole ceremony is a ritual to save Trump's face, if that's possible, after he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, right? So Infantino acted as like this supportive friend who wants something, of course, and so he helps to perform this whole this whole charade, like this global peacemaker charade, if you want. It's not a ceremony; it's a therapeutic theater for Trump's ego, but it's this face work, right? So you want to save face by face. In this case, it would simply be the peacemaker. So congratulations to that, of course. So now my personal acts on that, right? And I don't know where to start. I mean, because there's just so many things I want to talk about. I try to stick to a few. Okay, I picked out some highlights from my point of view. So first, that line in the beginning, you can wear it anywhere or everywhere you walk. Like talking to a toddler, it's fantastic. But it's a very specific phrasing by Gianni Infantino, right? Because you can see that Infantino kind of like infantilizes Trump in this case. Yeah, you tell a child like, hey, you can wear your Batman cape everywhere you want. It's yours. You don't tell a world leader that they can wear whatever they want, anywhere, everywhere they want. And it might be an accident. He didn't want to talk down to Trump, but it did reveal how Infantino knows that it's just like a costume, that it's just a made-up prize, that it's just a fake thing that you can take it everywhere you want. It's not a serious honor. If someone gives you like the Nobel Prize or whatever, something that means something, you're not saying you can take it everywhere you want, right? So it shows completely what Infantino, the FIFA, thinks about this prize. They know what it is. They know why they made it up. And this quick slip of how he actually then talked to the president really showed us what he slash the FIFA thinks about it, which is hilarious. And they think about everything, but they didn't think about how to actually talk about it. Also, this leads me to like, why did they do that? It's like, I would say it's the Nobel envy, right? They're envious of the Nobel Peace Prize. And so there's a theory also in communication called the mimetic desire, which means like Trump wanted a Nobel, didn't get it, so he gets the FIFA prize instead. So this theory, and I'm sorry to add another one, but it just fits so well. The mimetic desire is by who was it? Yeah, Girard. Sorry, so many French researchers I discuss these days. And he talks about Trump that desires that Nobel Prize so much because others, Obama, have it. So didn't get it. So FIFA provided like a substitute peace prize, if you want. So a substitute object to satisfy that desire that Trump had. So it's like buying your kid a thorny Sony PlayStation because you couldn't afford a Sony PlayStation, if you get what I mean. Okay. And now putting that whole thing into context, right? So 2026, the World Cup in the US. Right. I mean, that's why this whole thing happened. So what just, this whole prize thing was not a coincidence, obviously, and they drew the World Cup stages, the groups, right, when they did it. And the FIFA knows exactly what they're doing. I mean, Infantino doesn't know like how to talk, but besides that, they know exactly what they're doing. So it's not just funny, it's like very strategic. The FIFA needs the US government to play ball. Visas, security, tax, infrastructure, all those things. So Infantino is like kind of like prepaying, if you will, the bribe. Yeah, he isn't awarding a peacemaker, he's kind of like tipping the doorman. Yeah. And we've seen it a lot, like it's like, oh, Donald Trump is awesome, they're chanting USA, USA. So, and he had got Donald Trump to a point where Donald Trump said, yeah, this football, soccer, is the actual football, and the NFL should have a different name for it because they're buttering him up so much that he's actually now a soccer football person. Hilarious to see how it all unfolds on such a big stage. It's something that you would do with your toddler, and it happens on the biggest stage of them all, which is just crazy. My takeaway from this, right? Because let me check, it's almost 15 minutes of me now explaining this, and I think that's already 15 minutes too much because it's Trump and the FIFA, so they all gonna meet down there again anyways at some point. But it's just insane to see how the mightiest man in the world, most powerful man in the world, when it comes to politics, right? And the biggest sports. I don't even think that sports is still the biggest part of it for FIFA, to be honest. But this biggest sports governing body come together, just dancing in front of our eyes, like buttering each other up, basically bribing FIFA, basically bribing Trump. Allegedly, no, didn't bribe, but you see what's happening, right? What this award is about. But you can also bet right now that within like a few weeks, after all of us talking about it, like, no, they're bribing Trump, they're buttering him up, Trump is gonna drop a hammer on FIFA at some point about something like, oh, they're not getting any tax breaks, and then afterwards he's gonna like open the door for them again. Bet on it, gonna happen. Okay, because first then he wants to appear tough again, and then afterwards it's gonna be like, oh, they're nice people, they agree to whatever I wanted, and so now we can work with them. Gonna happen, 1000%. You know it, I know it, we all know it. Let me know what you think about this whole FIFA Peace Prize charade. Did you like the show? What do you think about the World Cup groups, by the way? As I'm German, we're playing Curaçao, we're playing, I forgot already. Apologies for that. Have to check again. Anyways, what do you think about the group stages? Are you excited for the tournament? I gotta be honest, just because I'm not the biggest fan of events in the US anymore. I used to be a huge fan when I was a kid and a teenager. All changed. We all know why, probably. But let me know your thoughts. As always, hit that subscribe button. It would be really helpful to reach a wider audience. We have kind of bigger discussions. Like, share, all those things would be fantastic. Catch me on socials as well at FunkedPod. Until then, stay safe, take care. It's called football, and we talk soon. Sawadee krap.